This is the newsroom for today, Thursday, November 26, 2020. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarzi TV in Partika. In the headlines, police are on the hunt for a man who allegedly killed his mother and stuffed her body inside a wardrobe at their Good Intent West Bank Demerara home. High-level teams from Guyana and Brazil meet and hold bilateral talks in Georgetown during a working visit by Brazil's Minister of External Relations. Less than 24 hours after he compared the operations of the Australian mining company Troy Resources to a communist country, Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton withdraws his statements.
Maybe the language was too harsh, maybe the language was too firm.
And in sport, West Indies face New Zealand in first T20 on Friday morning with an opportunity to change history. With the news, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. We started by telling you that police are on the hunt for 38-year-old Devon Anderson of Good Intent West Bank Demerara, who allegedly beat his 62-year-old mother to death and stuffed her body inside a wardrobe on Thursday. The man, who is said to be a drug addict, also allegedly brutally beat and injured his 4-year-old niece. The dead woman has been identified as Jennifer Judith Anderson. Her body was found inside a wardrobe at around midday by a relative who observed numerous marks of violence. The newsroom understands that the child is hospitalized at the West Demerara Regional Hospital with injuries to her abdomen. Reports indicate that Anderson was at home alone with the 4-year-old when Devon arrived home reportedly high on drugs, and it is believed that he committed the act and escaped. The 4-year-old managed to leave the house and went to a neighbor, who then took her to the relative's home nearby. The relative then went back to the home with the child and found Anderson's body. Neighbors claimed that they did not hear any noise emanating from the house. Police investigations are ongoing. Now, high-level teams from Guyana and Brazil met and held bilateral talks on Thursday in Georgetown during a working visit by Brazil's Minister of External Relations, Ernesto Araújo. The meeting was held at the Pegasus Hotel in Kingston, Georgetown, where the two sides reviewed the existing program of cooperation between Guyana and Brazil and agreed to the implementation of a number of measures aimed at expanding and strengthening collaboration at the bilateral and regional levels. Kurt Campbell reports.
In a joint statement following the frank exchanges between a government delegation headed by President Irfan Ali and Brazil's Minister of External Relations, Ernesto Araújo, it was noted that Guyana and Brazil agreed on modalities for advancing the cooperation agenda in the areas of infrastructure, trade and investment, health, agriculture, energy, tourism and security. Among the decisions taken was to resume discussions on the completion of the Guyana-Brazil road project, as well as of the implementation of the International Road Transport Agreement. Guyana and Brazil also agreed to advance discussions in energy cooperation, including environmental aspects, through the exchange of technical missions and information. Additionally, a decision was taken to pursue greater collaboration between the health officials as both states continue to grapple with the ill effects of COVID-19. The two sides also signed two agreements, one for the technical feasibility studies for the installation of optical network from Bovista, Brazil to Georgetown, Guyana, and another to intensify collaboration in the area of security and the fight against illicit activities and organized crime through the exchange of information and expertise. Guyana and Brazil intend to increase collaboration in agricultural matters, including technical cooperation in pest and disease management, as exemplified by the ongoing joint carambola fruit fly monitoring activities. It is expected that there will be the convening of a meeting of the Guyana-Brazil Group on Consular Cooperation in Guyana in January 2021. The Brazil minister was accompanied by senior officials of the Ministry of External Relations and the Federal Police of Brazil. During the visit, the minister and delegation met with President Irfan Ali, Vice President Bar Jagdeo, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation UTAD, as well as the Attorney General and the Ministers of Agriculture, Public Works and Home Affairs. The two sides also discussed the impending visit of Jair Bolsonaro, President of the Federative Republic of Brazil, to Guyana, which is anticipated to take place in the new year. Guyana and Brazil established diplomatic relations on August 26, 1968. The cooperation covers a broad range of areas, including trade, health, agriculture, transport, and security matters. Kurt Campbell, Newsroom.
Less than 24 hours after he compared the operations of the Australian mining company Troy Resources to a communist country, Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton has since withdrawn his statements following a backlash from the private sector. In an effort to offer clarity, the minister said his statements have caused apprehension in the business community, but he believes it may have been taken out of context. Kurt Campbell reports.
A visit to the operations of Australian mining company Troy Resources at Coroni Region 7 by Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton has aroused serious concerns for the welfare of more than 300 employees. During the 4-hour visit on Wednesday, the minister said he felt tense and pensive from the moment he arrived. He departed after describing the camp as combustible with intimidation.
On this site here, my last, how long we been with now? It feels like when, you know, should I say it? I think I should say it. In the day when you go to communist countries, when you have what they call miners take you around, I feel that way. I must say that to the company. I don't feel free here. And if in 2 hours I don't feel free, I don't know how the workers feel free in the period they spend here.
One day later, the minister said he is cognizant that the statements he made have stirred controversy in the business community, both locally and abroad, and have opted to withdraw those statements. Hamilton believes persons who were not physically present during his visit may have taken his comments out of context. He acknowledged that while he was expressing a feeling he had at the time, his language was too harsh and firm.
But at no time I was attempting to disparage the company and its management. You know, I suspect those statements created some ripples, but at the moment, I suspect also I was just expressing a feeling that I had at the time. But looking back, maybe the language was too harsh, maybe the language was too firm, and so if that created any stirring in the business community, if that created any apprehension and different feeling about the ministry and the government regarding its relationship with the business sector, I would be the first to withdraw those statements and those comments. I would have no difficulty in doing that.
The minister asserted that the government is pro-business, but it is also pro-working class and pro-poor government. He said it must not be lost on anyone that as a Minister of Labour, he has a responsibility to speak and protect the rights of workers. During his visit to Troy Resources on Wednesday, Hamilton was personally concerned with the fact that there was no union or representative body for the workers. Hamilton said he has held talks with the General Manager of Operations, Colin Connors, and remains prepared to work with him and the management to have this remedied. Connors has already welcomed the suggestion made by the minister, describing it as a great thing for the business. Kurt Campbell, Newsroom.
Police are investigating the death of 54-year-old Azad Khan of Tushan Housing Scheme East Bank, Essequibo, who was discovered lying motionless on a bed in his apartment on Wednesday at around 17 hours. Police headquarters in a statement noted that Khan lived alone and was last seen alive on Wednesday morning by his landlord. The landlord told police that when he returned home from work at around 17 hours, he called out several times for Khan but got no response. He subsequently looked through a window and observed Khan lying motionless on the bed. Police did not find any marks of violence on the body, but they found what appeared to be vomit by his mouth. Khan was taken to the Lenora Cottage Hospital, where he was examined and pronounced dead. The body is at the Ezekiel Funeral Parlor awaiting a post-mortem examination. When the newsroom returns, a mother of 7 is remanded for trafficking cocaine, and the authorities in Region 6 continue to grapple with illegal border crossings from Suriname into Guyana. This is the Newsroom. A 42-year-old Guyanese mother of 7 was remanded to prison on Thursday for attempting to traffic 4 pounds of cocaine in items concealed in her suitcase through the Chadichagan International Airport. Tommy Ann Bunbury appeared before Magistrate Sunil Skars at the Diamond Grove Magistrates Court and pleaded not guilty to the drug trafficking charge. Particulars of the charge alleged that on November 23, 2020, at the Chadichagan International Airport, Bunbury had 1.948 kilograms of cocaine in her possession for the purpose of trafficking. Prosecutor of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, Konyo Sandiford, objected to bail and cited the nature and gravity of the charge. She was remanded until December 23. According to the state's case, on the day in question, Bunbury was an outgoing passenger booked to travel on a flight destined to JFK, New York via Eastern Airlines. She traveled from Suriname to Guyana on November 21 to embark on the flight. Kanu officers at the airport conducted a search on Bunbury's 2 suitcases, her carry-on piece, and a number of objects, including a hardcover book, handbag, makeup kits, deodorants, nail polish covers, mascara, and permanent markers, when whitish substances suspected to be cocaine emanated from the said objects. Bunbury was arrested at the airport and taken to Kanu headquarters. Bunbury is a food vendor of Paramaribo. She is also of Victoria Road, Plaisance, on the east coast of Demerara. Now, the authorities in Region 6 continue to grapple with illegal border crossings from Suriname into Guyana, and this is due mainly to the suspension of the Guyana-Suriname ferry service, according to the regional chairman, David Armagon. As such, the chairman is pleased with the recent announcement by the president of Suriname, Yesu Persaud Santoki, to provide a temporary solution to resume the MV Kanawaima ferry service. Isnella Patwa reports.
Without the Guyana-Suriname ferry service, the alternative is using the backtrack route to illegally enter and leave Guyana. This is proving challenging for authorities in Region 6, with a number of illegal ports of entry identified in number 73, 52 and 74 villages and in Port Morant and Albion. The regional chairman, David Armagon, anticipates that movement of goods and people between South Drain and Molson Creek will resume without any hiccups once the ferry service is operational again. The chairman spoke with the newsroom via telephone on Thursday.
The backtrack that we are having right now in terms of people crossing in the night and during the day and hiding and so. And a lot of these people coming over too with they're smuggling them across. And besides that, a lot of stuff we have discovered that quite a few of them also have the virus, the coronavirus. So, you know, it will be a good thing because we will be able to regulate people coming in and out, and we will be able to check them as well. And it's much safer too for people to travel with the ferry. So I think it's a good thing.
The chairman explained that a number of persons who came through the backtrack also tested positive for COVID-19. However, he could not provide a number as to how many.
Remember, because the ferry is not working, quite a number of persons who would want to come over the ferry have no alternative but to use the backtrack.
It is expected that strict COVID-19 measures will be put in place once the service resumes. The ferry service was initially suspended in May 2019 for repairs and then again in March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While the MV Kanawaima ferry will be taken to dry dock for rehabilitation works, the public and private sectors in both countries will be called upon to assist with the temporary solution. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isabella Patwa.
Police have arrested a 34-year-old Herstelling East Bank Demerara man who allegedly abducted a one-day-old baby from the 19-year-old mother on Tuesday night at Tushan squatting area in East Bank of Essequibo. Police headquarters in a statement noted that the suspect and the teenager, Jennifer Goberdan, shared a relationship. It is alleged that in the day in question, at around 20 hours 45, the teen was at her mother's house when the suspect walked in and demanded that she hand over the baby. The teen mother refused, and as a result, the suspect reportedly became annoyed and pulled out a silver handgun from his left side pants pocket and pointed it at her. Police said the young mother became fearful for her life and released the baby to the suspect, who then escaped. The matter was reported to the Tushan police outpost shortly after. Ranks in the division were alerted, and at the Vredenhoop Junction, a minibus was intercepted by the police, where the suspect was found with a 24-year-old female of Melanie on the east coast of Demerara, who was found holding the baby. They were all arrested and taken to the Vredenhoop police station and questioned. The female stated that she does not know the suspect and that she was only asked to hold the baby just before the police stopped the bus. Her story was confirmed by the suspect, the police report noted. The woman was later released while the suspect remains in custody. The baby was also handed over to the mother. Investigations are ongoing. This is the newsroom. The Guyana Police Force destroyed approximately $3.4 million worth in marijuana plants and a camp at Gatroy Village, Berbice River, on Wednesday. Police in a statement said the partly harvested marijuana field was found with about 300 plants measuring about 4 to 6 feet in height. Additionally, a party of ranks on Wednesday, after being tipped off, went to a house at Developed Village, Berbice River, and uncovered a number of firearms and ammunition hidden under the floorboards. Police said an identifiable man managed to escape from the house in some nearby bushes. Now, many have been confused as to what counts as a COVID-19 death, and relatives and friends of some who have been told their loved ones died from the novel coronavirus have questioned the authorities. So, what counts as a COVID-19 death? The World Health Organization's guidelines indicate that unless someone completely recovers from COVID-19 before they die, they are classified as a COVID-19 death. This is regardless of their underlying condition, given that the infectious disease may have worsened that condition. This was made clear by the PAHO WHO representative in Guyana, Dr. Louis Codino. He, in an interview with the Newsroom, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony explained that the two youngest patients that have died from COVID-19 related complications in Guyana were 11 and 29-year-old. As such, he is cautioning persons with underlying conditions to be more careful.
In terms of the health services, it's very difficult to know exactly what is the person who's coming. And what we work in a lot of countries is to define a flow, sometimes a specific flow for the people who's not having symptoms or contacts or something like. And this is a specific flow for these people. And obviously, people who comes with symptoms or some other intercurrences in terms of their health, we manage this in a different way.
When someone dies, it's required for you to issue a death certificate. That death certificate then has a number of things on it. What was the direct cause of death? What were the things leading up to that person dying? So there are a whole series of things that you have to follow. So in the case of this child dying, the child actually had leukemia. So if there was no COVID, this child possibly would have died from leukemia, right? And therefore, when the child came in, the child had leukemia plus tested positive for COVID. So it's not really that COVID was the disease that caused the death, but the other disease that this child had. And that's why it's classified that way. So we recognize that from time to time these things can be challenging for our physicians. And what we have been doing is trying to explain to them what is the WHO guideline and how we can utilize these guidelines to properly classify cases when we find them. We had an instance where, for example, somebody came in relatively young, had diabetes, came to the hospital with a diabetic coma. So again, in a non-COVID environment, that person's prognosis of surviving would have been a challenge. And when they tested that person also had COVID-19. So it's not because of COVID-19 that this person passed away, it's the other disease that they had.
In the two instances you mentioned, both cases were severe, but for the complicated with COVID-19, do we classify them as a COVID death or not COVID death?
Technically, they shouldn't be classified as a COVID death. And that's what, hence the training, right? But we can say it's related to COVID, but it's not a COVID death, right? And we have noticed over the last couple of months that we've had several instances of that. I guess with any pandemic, at the time, because of the involvement of people in it, that we can eventually, if we try to reclassify at the same time, that can pose a lot of challenges. But maybe after you have exited the pandemic, researchers would actually go back to the data and be able to get a better sense and to probably reclassify those cases with less emotion, right? Using all the proper techniques and so forth. So we have a lot of diabetics, hypertensive people, people with cardiac diseases, kidney disease, chronic lung disease. We had cases of cancer. We had even cases where people's immune system was compromised. So in the case of HIV patients, TB patients. So these are conditions that we have seen persons with these conditions coming in and then having COVID complicates their management. And in some cases, this has led to their death. So my advice to people who know that they have, in some cases, chronic non-communicable diseases, that they have to be extra vigilant. they, more than anybody else, have to take the precautions of the social distance, sanitization of their hands, wearing masks. And really, if they don't have to be out there in the public, you know, let them stay home so that they're not exposing themselves. And that is extremely important.
Now, the United Nations on Thursday began consultations with Guyana on its ability to reduce poverty and inequalities given the setbacks resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. The UN resident coordinator told the media that the UN is looking at how to assist those countries that are left behind. Here's more.
The United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Goals seek to reduce poverty and inequalities, address climate change, and ensure better access to health and education. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a major setback in achieving these goals, prompting an assessment of all UN countries' ability to meet their targets. This will be used to provide assistance. UN Resident Coordinator Mikiko Tanaka, along with the team on Thursday, engaged the People's Progressive Party government on the economic and social impact of the pandemic on the local economy.
Well, I think the whole world now is hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, and unfortunately, if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, all the progress all around the world has been impacted negatively. So the economic impact is serious, and many people have lost jobs and income. Health, of course, is a serious issue and a challenge for all the countries. So that is something that we need to look at for 2020, and how to help the country, help Guyana to respond to the crisis, which is still going on, but also to recover from it and then get back on track towards the Sustainable Development Agenda.
The meeting was attended by recently appointed Senior Minister with responsibility for finance, Dr. Rashni Singh, who told the media that the government aims to improve the well-being of all Guyanese at the shortest possible time. This meeting, he said, sets the stage for future engagements.
The economy, as you know, and the country is going through a period of dramatic change, and as a government, we are certainly cognizant of the implications that the changes that are imminent will mean for not only our economy but for the well-being of our people. And our aim, of course, is to improve the well-being of all Guyanese in the shortest possible time through both establishing a conducive and positive broad policy framework, but also through a number of specific interventions aimed at improving people's lives.
Dr. Singh was accompanied by Minister of Governance and Parliamentary Affairs Gail Teixeira. In Guyana's 2019 review of its path to achieving the SDGs, it was pointed out that while economic growth has remained positive over the last decade, its impact on poverty reduction is uncertain since the last national poverty assessment was done 12 years ago. Notwithstanding, the UN acknowledged that a raft of interventions, including those targeting single women, youth, the disabled, and indigenous communities in remote areas, have been implemented to reduce poverty across both coastal and hinterland regions. Bibi Katun, Newsroom.
Now, with Christmas a month away, some stores are busy stocking up to supply the holiday demands. In our Christmas in 5 segment, we are joined by Mark Murray, who will tell us all about the Christmas bargains down at Game Express.
I'm Mark Murray, and this is Newsroom's Christmas in 5, and today we're down at Game Express on North Road, and we'll be talking with Kimberly, who will be telling us all about those deals just in time for the holiday season. So Kimberly, I know the guys might be wishing for the PS5 just in time for Christmas. Are you guys gonna have that this holiday season?
Yes, Mark, we will be stocking the PS5 for the holiday season. We are expecting the Xbox Series X in a few days, so you can expect the Series X and the PS5 for the holidays.
Perfect. So what are some of the go-to games for the game lovers that they usually come here at Game Express for?
Well, we have the new Nintendo Switch, which is really nice. It's something you can play handheld and also on the television. We have games for go with that consoles also. We have the new releases of the FIFA 21. All of the new 21 release, we have it in store right now. So when purchasing the PS5 and the Xbox Series, we also have games to go with it.
Oh, great. So definitely Game Express is the place to come to get those games for all the game lovers. So tell us, what about the children? We know it's Christmas time and everybody's looking for that present for the little children. Do you guys have enough toys this season?
Yes, we do. We have a wide variety of toys in store for kids of all ages. We have from the babies to the teenagers. We have the Leapfrog, the VTech, the Fisher-Price toys. Those are interactive toys that can actually let the children learn whilst playing, and then we have stuff for the bigger kids also. And we recently stocked, for the people that want to do their shopping early, we recently stocked on toys and we will be expecting more. We are the leading distributor for Wilton Cake Supply in Guyana, so we have a wide variety of cake supply. And the holidays is about baking, so you just come down to Game Express. We have a representative that would help you, guide you through buying the cake supply. If you're not sure, we'll help you. We also have a wide variety of party supplies. The holidays is about parties. We have your solid color party supply for your staff parties or your little Christmas hang. We have everything that you would need.
Of course, we're encouraging persons to social distance. Even if they're going to have a little get-together, we should all stick to the COVID-19 restriction and protocol just to be safe. Aside from those party stuff, what else do you guys have down here that, you know, persons might be able to surprise somebody with during this Christmas time?
We recently introduced our glass case, which it have more of adult gift ideas in there, like a wine glass or a little token to give to your coworker. We will be having our Christmas promotion, which is you pull a tab from our Christmas tree with every $5,000 spent and you will get 5 to 50% off your bill. So we have that you can expect for the holiday.
Perfect. So every $5,000, that's a chance for you to pull a tag.
Yes.
So if I spend $30,000, that's how many chances I would have?
Well, 5,000 and more, so you would get one chance. But if you come back a few days after and you make another purchase, you will get to pull again from the tree.
Well, I guess persons will be coming back after every $5,000 just to pull and see how much discount they get during this time. All right, Kimberly, I know it's Christmas time and persons are going to be bombarding stores and they're going to want to get in to get the items first so that it's not sold out. Could you confirm what are some of the COVID-19 restrictions you guys have in place, and just to give persons that reassurance that it's safe to shop here at Game Express?
Well, we have a limit of 10 persons allowed in the store at once. We're also sanitizing you before you enter and check your temperature. We have our numbers that you can call just to confirm if we have the product in store. You can also do an order and send someone to pick up. We have that also available.
Are you guys on social media, and what is the name persons should be looking for and what is the numbers they should get to contact you to place those orders?
We are on Facebook and Instagram. We also have a WhatsApp that we can send you pictures if you need to see something in store. Our Facebook and Instagram name is Game Express GY. Our WhatsApp is 615-1884. You can also call our landline, which is 227-8902 or 227-2391.
And that's all the time we have here on Newsroom's Christmas in 5, and we're down here at Game Express. Thank you, Kimberly, for having us and sharing some of the exciting deals and what is to come during the Christmas season 2020.
Yes, Mark. I want to encourage everyone to come down, get their item, get the best quality, best price, best service, because we're known for that. Come and get your great deals, come and get your supply. Just encourage you to come down. Happy holidays.
Until next time, I'm Mark Murray saying goodbye.
Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off with some cricket news. Craig Brathwaite and Darren Bravo punished New Zealand A bowlers on day one of the 4-day warm-up game at the John Davies Oval in Queenstown, piling up a massive 353 for 3 by the close of play. Brathwaite batted through the entire 90 overs to finish on a magnificent 183 not out, while Bravo, who cracked 135 in the 3-day warm-up contest a week ago, made 93. Braffett and the under fire John Campbell gave West Indies a solid opening stand of 111 before the Jamaican left-hander fell for 45, his first substantial score on the tour. Bravo then joined Braffett and they proceeded to add 189 for the second wicket. Shamar Brooks missed out, making 5, while Jermaine Blackwood is the other not-out batsman on 9. Blair Tickner, Michael Ray and Rachin Ravindra took a wicket each for New Zealand A. On the eve of the match, the West Indies head coach Phil Simmons had called on the test batsmen to spend more time at the crease. Judging from the opening day's performance, they seem to have heeded.
Lost 2 and drew the other. Their lone win out of 8 T20 internationals in New Zealand came December 2008. Chris Gayle was man of the match as New Zealand's 155 for 7 was met with 155 for 8 by West Indies. Currently Blizova's captain, Kieran Pollard, made 7 and took 1 wicket in that match. 12 years later, he now returns with a chance to change history, a chance to continue on a winning path on the road to World T20 title defense next year in India. In March, they toured Sri Lanka and won both T20s. But despite 2 World T20 titles, they languished 9th on the rankings, and it seems from them not being able to field their best 11 during most bilateral series is the factor. Gayle, Russell, Lendl Simmons, Evan Lewis and Sunil Narayan are absent for varying reasons, but the reserves are quite talented in their own right. Looking at both squads, on paper, the Caribbean side are certainly possessing the quality needed to win this 3-match series. I anticipate the West Indies playing 11 for this first match will be Brandon King, Andre Fletcher, Shimon Hetmeyer, Nicholas Pooran, Kieran Pollard, Ruffman Powell, Fabian Allen, Kimo Paul, Romero Shepherd, Hayden Walsh Jr. and Sheldon Cottrell. Without a doubt, the southpaws of Hetmeyer and Pooran will be asked to lay some solid batting foundation for West Indies, for the big bashers as Pollard and Allen to come on what are usually short straight boundaries. However, most of the grounds in New Zealand are quite open and the wind factor is always the case square of the wicket. Paul is expected to be Pollard's go-to man on the death overs, and it will be interesting to see how well he can use his bag of tricks and slow balls and services, which are generally great for batting. Now, leg spinner Hayden Walsh, who did not have the best of CPLs, will want to show good consistency. If Sunil Narayan is available, he will be hard-pressed to keep his place. New Zealand has opted to rest their seasoned pros such as Trent Bolt and Kane Williamson. Tim Southee, who will captain, will only lead for the first 2 matches, after which Mitchell Santner takes over. They have gone with the route of exposing new players. Out of that unknown, potentially possesses a new challenge for West Indies. Though many lack the experience and exposure, as most of the West Indians, they are playing in home conditions. Ross Taylor seems an ageless character, and while he did not have the best of outings in this year's CPL, the fresher faces in New Zealand and fresher pitches could help him. There's also solid support from the likes of Martin Guptill, Esodi, Jimmy Neesham, and Glenn Phillips. Just like the West Indies, some of New Zealand's T20 players played quarantine only on the eve of this contest. It is hard to assume what will be their playing 11, since they are out in a rotation policy of player management. History makes New Zealand favourites, but experience and power makes the West Indies genuine contenders. Who will come out on top? We'll have to wait until 2 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time on Friday, November 27, for that answer.
Thank you, Akeem. Now, having a plan, remembering that plan and executing is what West Indies T20 skipper Kieran Pollard is hoping his players can deliver on the field during the 3-match T20 series against New Zealand from November 27 to 30. Pollard spoke to Cricket West Indies media moments after arriving in New Zealand on the eve of the match.
Skipper, welcome to Auckland. How does it feel to finally be out of quarantine?
I don't think we have enough time or enough words to describe how we feel and what we have endured, but all well, ends well. We're here safely and we're less than, 24 hours out of the game.
Yeah, and the game is tomorrow. How do you feel your preparation was while in the quarantine?
Again, we made use of what we could have, a small group that we had. And again, guys were playing cricket. Some guys weren't playing or they were just around the IPL teams. But, having said that, it is what it is. New Zealand had a couple of guys as well, in quarantine. So it's just a matter of, using your mental strength and, hopefully coming out and putting these things behind you and see what happens.
And knowing that the other group have been here and training hard, What do you think is important now that the two groups are coming together?
Again, it's just a matter of understanding what we want to achieve. Again, we have known each other for a long time, so it's nothing that you talk about bonding and stuff like that. From the last squad, there's only a couple new guys into the squad. So again, it's just a matter of sitting down and having that plan, and hopefully plan and remember the plans and go out and try to execute. But having said that, we have to be wary that guys would not have played cricket for a while. So again, we have to take it easy in terms of how our emotions and our reactions to things on the cricket field. But again, the basics of cricket will still apply.
Sorry, we've been getting a lot of comments on social media, asking about you guys. So I just want you to give a message to the fans back home. Just let them know that you're now here and what happens from here on.
I sense their concern. Some of our friends and family members were asking how we were doing because they wasn't seeing or hearing anything about us. We were in Alcatraz, but now we are out, and again, looking forward to it. We had a couple practice sessions. The guys had a couple bonding sessions, as we call them. Team meetings we had to use that sort of language. But again, it worked well for us.
Thanks, Kid. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Nice.
Football news now. President of the Guyana Football Federation, Wayne Ford, said Diego Maradona's death is a huge blow to the global football family. The Argentine 1986 World Cup winner died on Wednesday, aged 60. Ford said Maradona is in the top tier of the sport as he had the aptitude to deliver on the big occasions. November 25, 2020, a sad day for the sport of football. Diego Maradona, the Argentine football legend, has died at the age of 60. I'm joined by Mr. Wayne Ford, the president of the Guyana Football Federation, to reflect briefly on the life of one of the most outstanding players to have ever played the sport. Mr. Ford, I know you had some personal interactions with Diego a few years back, but before we get to that, how big a blow is this for global football, because Diego was still involved in the game at the club level?
Diego's exploits in the game of football is renowned across the world. So this is a huge blow to the global football family. Players like Maradona, Platini, those truly dominated the period played football at a professional level. They were truly, truly dominant players. Much of what they displayed on the field is hardly seen in today's game. Even though we have players that can be compared with them, I think just the personality and the energy that they bring, the emotion that they displayed when they represented their country, it's hard to match that. So he is an icon. He will remain as a historic figure in the game of football for many, many reasons, and it is indeed a very sad day for the sport. And I want to use this opportunity to convey my deep condolences to the Argentine people, to the Argentine Football Federation, and to the global football fraternity.
In sport, there is always a talk about greatness, being one of the greatest. How would you categorize Diego Maradona, the player?
I think he is right up there with the greatest of greatest. To have a football move be kind after you, the hand of God, speaks to the notoriety of Diego Maradona. He has emerged as the victor in one of the most renowned rivalry in national football, which is the rivalry between the Argentine national team and the English national team. And Maradona would have settled that argument on the pitch. And so he, just being a very gifted player is not enough to be classified or to be categorized as a great player. You have to deliver on the occasion. And he has delivered on many occasions. In 1986, he delivered a World Cup to his nation against arguably one of the better teams in the world at the time. The finals was between Argentina and Germany. So he is right up there with the greatest of players that have graced the game over the years.
apart from his exploits on the pitch, he had his own personal challenges. And, you know, they were well publicized, of course. What message can we garner from Diego Maradona's life that, you know, young footballers can inculcate, our young footballers?
Well, I would say, who doesn't have challenges? The difference is with those of us that are, whether fortunate or unfortunate to have a public life, is that our challenges are usually amplified, and you know, the media see a particular reason to spend a lot of time on it. But I think beyond that, he loved the game. He served the game well. He was the pride of Argentine football.
But finally, you had a very, you're very fortunate to share time on the pitch with Diego a few years back. Talk to us a bit about that experience.
Well, I think it was 2017. I was in Bahrain at a FIFA event, and we were playing, you probably got to call it Masters of Masters game, because Diego was there. I think Cafu was there. Figo was there. And Diego happened to be sharing the same dressing room that we were using. The two teams were sharing one dressing room. And he was on the other team. So, of course, we took a few photographs and all that. And I remember distinctly that he refused to take the pitch because the shirt that they gave him did not have the number 10 on it. It was just a generic shirt to play. And that guy got so upset over that, you know, the organizers giving him that shirt, that they quickly found a shirt with the number 10 on it. And it tells you the kind of value and you know, and the pride that he had, which is important. You know, he's a great player, and he has all the right to be very proud of his achievements. So that was an experience that I had, and I will cherish that for the rest of my life.
And finally, more sad news. The Guyana Olympic Association on Wednesday expressed shock and sadness at the passing of its council member, Raul Archer. Archer was also the president of the Guyana Judo Association. The Guyana Olympic Association said Archer will be remembered for his dedication to sport, and more especially the development of judo in Guyana. The GOA said Archer made sterling contributions over the years to the activities of the Guyana Olympic Association. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, Newsroom.gy, our Facebook page, and Instagram. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.